Good evening, guys. Good evening to everyone. We are here, of course, with the Arsenal Vault show, the return of this fantastic show. I've missed doing this, guys. We did bring it back with Tony last week on his channel, but we're back for the new season. We're ready, a brand new, fresh season, and the Arsenal Vault show does return. We're talking everything Arsenal today, got quite a bit to go through. We're talking the Villa game on the weekend. We're talking only a few days until the deadline day and the window does shut. Arsenal have announced officially Mikel Merino, but we need more players, guys. We're going to talk about that, who could possibly be next for Arsenal. We'll also be looking ahead to our game against Brighton on Saturday. And we're with, of course, the absolute legend himself, Tony Claude Gunner. This guy's a real one, man. Me and him, when I first came on his channel, I think like last year, we vibed straight away. We connected straight away. We always had this thing, and we what I love about Tony is he's so humble. He keeps it real as well, man, and he respects everyone's opinion as well, even if it's different to yours. He will respect it and give his and be humble with it, man. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. But Tony, good to be back, obviously with our show, man. And how you doing today, man?
Hey, yeah, people, yeah, everyone who is, tuned in to watch us, me and Josh, come back to his channel to do this. Big up to all of you. I can see RD12, Rory, in the charts. Big up to you, man. Real one, absolute real one. And he's a big friend of this channel too, and of my channel too. Big up to you always, all the time. Yeah, guys, I'm back on this channel. Yeah, I'm back on Josh True Gunner's channel. See, it doesn't get better than this yet. Of course, last year, we just vibed straight out. We said, come on, man, let's get these shows popping, man. And here we are. We did the first installment of my channel for this season. I think that was last week. And this week, we just have to come and repay back that favor for the second, installment this season. So, it's huge. It's big, big ups to you, big up to everyone down here. I assume that most of the people down here are Arsenal fans. Merino is in the house. See, Josh, let's make this a little bit interactive, man. Instead of talking about this transfer, come on, man. Merino is here.
He's here.
Merino is here. What do you think, my brother, man?
It's finally done, man. It's been a while. We finally got announced, Tony, bro. But no, I'm happy he's here. I've seen them, and I was listening to what you were saying the other day about some of our fans, like quite a lot of them, sort of throwing unnecessary criticism to the guy when he's not been playing in an Arsenal shirt yet. You know what I'm saying? I think obviously we'll give the guy a chance, to prove himself first and foremost. But before we get into that, Tony, just big up everyone in the chat. You got your boy Dow, my guy Dow as well. You got to show of him later on, guys. Check out Tony's channel already. But yeah, Dow, absolute real one. Oregon Goon, big up to you. We got Luca, big up to you. We got Arsenal Way as well, even into you, mate. Murrah Bucks, big up to you, Murrah Buck, bro. Hope you're well. Optics, big up Josh and Tony, big up yourself, bro.
Big up Optics, man.
We've got Rory as well.
The
absolute real one.
The Taki as well. Is also on the chart.
We've got Paul, mate. Paul's always showing us support, man. This guy's a real one.
Paul's a real one, man. Absolute real one. He shares my stuff on my channel, man. He's an absolute real one. He might not be the guy to stay for the whole, show, but he's that guy that would share your stuff, that would like your stuff, and would necessarily vibe with you. He's an absolute real one. Big ups to Paul, man. And big ups to Keaton. Shetty, the Assembled is also down here. Zane is from my channel. Big up Zane from Bro Space. BX Goon is down here. Old head, loves Arsenal to the core. Chelsea Sessions, I've had a show with him. Great guy.
BX as well. Absolute funny. Is always real one. And Zane. But yeah, Tony, let's kick in things. I mean, you started off perfectly there with new signing officially announced today. Mikel Merino officially announced, of course. 30 million is the fee for him. 28 years of age, as we know. Already played in the Premier League, but has gained experience along the way. He was at Newcastle on a loan deal, but been at Sociedad. He's won the Euros with Spain. He's won the Nations League with Spain. He's won the Copa del Rey with Sociedad. So he has won quite a bit already in his career. Ideally going to come in as that left 8, which I said in I think last week's show we've been missing. He's a player who can play, I think, multiple roles as well. He's looking at his physicality, athletic, very tall as well. So I think he can play multiple roles there as well. and he's always looking for that pass to break the line. So I really think
I think Josh is breaking down there, but I'll just take that up for him until he comes back. Josh,
are you
okay,
back,
Josh is
Tony?
back now. No,
Rest in peace
no,
to
I've been
Wi-Fi,
the one
guys.
on. No, you're the one. You're the one that's having a problem, not me. I've been
It's me.
on.
It's me.
You
Yes,
froze.
it's all me,
Yeah, it's
mate.
you. You froze. You
Oh
froze.
man, I frozen again. Ole ole, guys. But
You froze.
no, so, yeah. As I was saying, we're obviously with Merino as a player could play multiple roles. And yeah, I think for the value it's a decent signing. But Tony, we got our midfielder in. How are you feeling overall about this player coming to Arsenal, man?
See, you know what? Yeah, one thing I would not accept from our fan base. I'm usually someone that I like criticism. You know, but it has to be constructive criticism. Yeah. Uh, we just bought this guy from Real Sociedad, yeah. And even weeks before this guy came in, because I've done shows with rival fans, with Arsenal fans in those shows. I've listened to a cross section of Arsenal fans. Some of them are not actually, happy with this signing. They don't necessarily happy with this signing. Many of them are saying it is not what we need. Many of them are saying he's a shitty player. But again, this guy just this guy just won an European Championship. Yeah, of course you could bring in the context that he wasn't a starter in that Spanish team. But again, you're talking of a Spanish team that there are lots of killers in that team, and those killers even start from the bench most of the time. But it's stacked up with lots of with a lot of stars there and quality players. So that's the standpoint from where I view it from. And he hasn't done an Arsenal shirt yet, and everyone has started criticizing this guy. You know what? Yeah, I'll take you back to 2 seasons ago when we challenged City the first time about 2 years ago. You remembered when William Saliba just dropped down and got injured. You remember who replaced him, right? You remember the
Rob
name of the
Holding.
person? Rob Holding. Like, please mention that name again so that everyone in the chat would listen to you. Yeah.
Rob
Who
Holding, guys.
replaced him?
This is the people.
Rob
This is Rob
Holding.
Holding.
See, yeah. Now I'm now looking at Thomas Partey. Yeah, he scored a great goal, yeah, in the last matchup. But since you've seen him play this season, yeah, has he really recaptured the finesse with which he played with in his first season per se? Do you think he's there at this point right now? The obvious answer is no.
No,
And
yeah.
we all know through the history of what has been going on at Arsenal, at least with his career at Arsenal, he's going to get injured this season.
Mm,
It's a given because we don't know anything about the future. We're not fortune tellers. We're football fans and football
yeah.
fanatics and football critics alike. People who love football. That's what we are. We're YouTubers. Let's don't over let's don't over exaggerate what we are. We're YouTubers. That's what we are. We're not fortune tellers. We don't know anything about the future. We only can go by what has happened. And what has happened is that Thomas Partey has been, going through this recurring injuries time and time after. Now, who do you bring in if Thomas Partey gets injured? I mean,
Mm,
who do you bring in? Because everyone is saying, "Oh, we don't need that Calafiori signing." But yet, if one of Gabriel and Saliba drop right now, then you will see that our defensive setup actually still needs someone, but someone with quality down there. So why are you questioning when we bring in quality? And for
mm.
crying out loud, last season we had Fabio Vieira on the bench. This season, I didn't want to see Fabio Vieira sitting on our bench because he's not quality. Thank God he is left to FC Porto. We'll talk about that later on. But again, even for Merino to even be on our bench, isn't it something worth being happy for? Having quality
Mm.
on our bench yet again. When Calafiori was coming in for Julian Timber the other time in the last matchup, weren't you filled with joy that a quality player was coming to replace another quality player? That's what I want to see. I want to see
Facts.
competitiveness all around the pitch. That's what we want to see. So if the Arsenal, I don't think we've done good business per se overall, because I
Mm.
still know that I still need, very, very important players in priority areas. But again, that doesn't mean we don't need a Merino in the middle of the park. And again, I need not to tell you, of course, you watch Spanish La Liga. This guy is that guy that could play in the midfield three. If you want him there, he's gonna give
Mm.
that to you. He's gonna play in the left side, and that's in the left side of centre mid. How about that? If you want him to play in a double pivot, with the kind of range of players that we have in midfield as a double pivot, he can do it. He could play
You
a
can
double
do it.
pivot with Tom.
Yeah.
That if Mikel Arteta decides, okay, Rice, you've been playing so much, you know what? Yeah, let me see the changing dynamics of this team. Let me just change things and spice things up a little bit, and just allow Thomas Partey and Merino just go on that double pivot in a midfield four. How about in a midfield three with Merino playing in left centre mid? He is a very, very, very dynamic player, and of course, Mikel Arteta, I'm not singing his praises in any way, but of course, you do know that he likes all these kind of technical players that can actually play
Mm.
certain roles and different dimensions. Merino brings that to the table. He can play as a six. He could play as a eight. I don't want to see Kai Havertz playing in that number eight role
Oh,
ever
no
again.
way. Yeah.
The best area for Kai Havertz isn't in that left centre mid. It is as a striker. I felt it was wasted down there last season. All those times it was being wasted in left centre mid, he would have just been there as our point man. Grabbing goals at least at the tail end of last season. He scored lots of goals. That's what Merino would bring to the table. And again, see, I remembered like 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago, a decade ago, 20 years ago, mostly after Vieira, Gilberto Silva left the football club, there's been this problem with Arsenal not having steel around our midfield. We always
Yeah.
complain, oh, the tough guys, where are they? We don't have
Mm.
any. In fact, the last similarity of any kind of tough guy in the middle of the park that we had, you know, was Song in the middle of the park.
Alex on. Yeah, I remember.
Alex
Yeah, yeah.
Song, that was just the only guy in recent memory that even nearly replicated whatever Gilberto Silva was in the middle of the park. So why is it that right now, when we are going into the market and brought in a physical monster, Merino is a beast. Have you seen him? 6 foot plus, tall, and going by his facial attributes, he's not that kind of guy to smile with you. Didn't you see him in the
Yeah.
video? Was he opening his mouth in the auditorium, laughing with the people there? No, he's a serious-minded
Yeah.
person. He's the kind of guy that you tell go and kill in the middle of the pitch. He will go there. He will kill for you. He will chop legs off for you. He will do that for you. It's in his wheelhouse. He's a physical monster. Let's not even talk about his aerial ability, his ground abilities. Totally, totally, totally top notch. That's what he brings to the table, physicality. In those duels, grand duels, area duels, is superb. He did that superbly for Real Sociedad. So I don't see why Arsenal fans should hate on this guy that has not even won the shirt. This guy is a threat, big, big threat in set pieces. No one wants to listen to that. Mind you, Josh, you already know that, we already have this kind of like this connection going on with set pieces. Arsenal
Yeah,
scored,
the most.
lots of from set pieces last season. How about adding another juggernaut into the sea, into the ocean, and
Very true.
yeah, and make those set pieces, a complete saga for this oppositions that we're going to be facing. It's totally, totally amazing in set pieces. It's good with the head. It's good with the leg. Of course, it's passing. He needs to, increase the level of his completed passes, but it doesn't mean he doesn't know how to, move into pocket spaces, scan the area. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a great vision to pass the ball and get into small little pocket spaces and try to, at least, get the ball up pitch and do something else with the ball. He could shoot from long range. Have you seen his long range shots? His long range shots are quite good, and has a punch and a bite. He's just that physical kind of guy, 6 foot plus. He brings that presence to the midfield. I can't just wait to see him and Declan Rice and Thomas Partey do the thing in the middle of the park. And man, I just think he's a dynamic kind of guy. And he's serious minded. It's been long we've really had this, serious minded, this serious looking person, in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've always had this kind of guys right now that are just, smiley,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
They got nice guy smiles, swabs his hair and the girl. I know people down there in the middle of the park, ready to chop off legs, ready to make a tackle, ready to dwell, and his numbers tells the story. Aerial ability, area dwell, so ground dwell. Is a monster. That guy would literally protect our back four. Mostly
yeah,
seemed to me better always liked Rice to somehow drift away from his position into more advanced roles in some cases. Most of the time, he has to
mm,
supplement Martinelli in the left sometimes to, in order for us to have any action up that left. Mind you, Martinelli has been having problems this season to even
yeah,
price what he did under Emery. So most times Declan Rice have to bump forward. Then who's the guy that's going to protect our back four when everyone goes? Even Thomas Partey. You saw how Rodgers ran him ragged in the middle of the park. There's no
yes.
way. There's no way Rodgers would do that thing to Merino. He would chop him off. He would chop him off in the middle of the park. So I don't know,
That's
man. That's what I
that's
say.
the thing, Tony.
Let
No,
let's allow Merino breathe. Let's allow him
I
breathe.
honestly
Let him
think
draw
you
them
hit
out.
the nail on the head, man. With that, I feel so many attributes that he has. He can play multiple roles in the midfield, which will be good for us. As you said, he can fill in. If you want to play rights more advanced, you can do that because of how the attributes Moreno has. He's as you said, very tall, physical, athletic in the midfield, as you said. So. But even if you want to play him as if you want to push Rice back to the 6 and want to push him to the 8, Merino can play
Yeah,
8 as well. That's why he played for Sociedad as well. Or if you want to do for certain games a double pivot of Rice and Merino in there, and Odegaard a bit in front, we can do that as well. So I think he's a very sort of versatile midfielder in there who can play
yeah.
different roles because his
Mhm.
attributes. He has those different. I mean, we watched him in the Euros when he came off the bench. He changed the game against Germany, didn't he? It was his goal in the quarterfinals, changed the game completely, and
Set
sent them through.
pieces. He's a
And
set
that's the
piece
thing as well.
monster.
You saw how good we were at set pieces last season, Tony. Yeah, we had the best set
Mm,
piece record in Premier League. Now we're just adding
yeah,
to it with a player very very tall, very good aerially as well. I think it's a very very smart signing and a good bit of business from Arsenal.
yeah.
Does one factor for you is it?
Josh, he's 6 foot plus.
Yeah,
See, can you get a grip of what I'm trying to paint here? Yeah. When you see Arsenal over the years, we've lost our fear factor. That's the truth.
yeah,
Many of all these teams see us as as lesser men, as boys. when they see us, they don't respect us. They believe that, they will come in down there, they will go to the Emirates, they will kick soccer with us, they'll play us, they'll run us ragged, they can get some certain kind of wins against us. But right now, yeah, with Merino, when you're an opposition player or an opposition team, you see the string of 6 foot plus men that we have on the tunnel. Just imagine this picture. Kai Havertz, 6 foot plus, yeah, physical monster, yeah. You see Calafiore, 6 foot plus, physical monster in the tunnel, waiting, staring at you, yeah. You see Merino, 6 foot plus, staring at you. You, you see William Saliba, yeah, might not be 6 foot plus, but he's a monster, presumably the best
Gabriel as
back
well,
in the
man. The
in the
next one.
whole of the world. Right now, in my own evaluation, you see someone like Gabriel,
Gabriel, yeah.
bro. You see these physical monsters in the team, and bro, this opposition teams will be quaking in their boots even before they come and kick soccer or kick football down there with us, and on the pitch. They'll be shook to the boots before they even get a kick soccer with us. And again, fear factor is almost what Man City uses as a weapon most of the time, because that fear factor is there. Teams know you can't just run at Man City. You'll be punished. You have to defend, you have to balance your play, you have to balance your offensive approach with your defensive mechanism. So, if Arsenal can reestablish that fear factor back, these teams won't just, let loose at Arsenal and try to run us ragged. When they see those physical players, they will quake in their boots, and Merino is just an icing on the cake for that. And again, with the questions Thomas Partey has right now with his fitness levels, I don't think Merino is a bad addition to the team.
No, absolute
Gives us
spot on,
something
man.
more. It gives us something extra. And again, don't forget, he's a winner. He's a
He is.
winner.
He
I
is.
mean, he's a
He
winner.
is.
I mean, he has the second most important trophy in the world right now. He has the
Yeah.
medal. How
Yeah.
many winners do we have in our team? How many people will tell you tales of valor? It's only Kai Havertz. Let that sink in. Kai Havertz is the only big time winner in our team right now that can tell the team, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. This is how I won this trophy. These are big legendary tales of how I won. Come on, why don't we win something? It's only Kai Havertz. And he's not the kind of striker that we need. But he's the only one that's a big time player that has won any big time trophy anywhere around Arsenal. So why not add Merino, who has the European Championship, is a big time winner,
Spot on, bro.
Spanish international,
Spot on, yeah.
Real Sociedad. He's always playing in that team. It's not like it's always on the bench. Come on, man. What are we
I'm
talking
pretty
about?
sure as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat.
Yeah,
But
Jorginho, but Jorginho doesn't really play for the team. RD, he has more of a coaching role for me if you're asking me.
yeah,
Arsenal right now.
but with Mikel Merino, right? I'm pretty sure he won the most last season. He was the highest player to win the most duels in possession of any other player in Europe's leagues.
Talk to them, Josh. Talk
Like,
to them. They're not listening.
listen, people, right? I saw that today. I was like, wow. You know what? I know it's just going off, numbers, but you got to look at it both ways. You can watch a player, but then the numbers don't lie as well, do they, Tony? The stats don't lie. He won the most
The stats don't lie.
goals out of any other player in Europe's top leagues. And you look
Top
how
leagues,
many,
all
yeah,
of them,
all of
bro,
them,
in the
all of
whole
them.
of Europe, bro, in the whole of Europe. What are we talking about? Let's don't water it down. It's the whole of Europe. He's
Whole
that
of
good.
Europe.
It's the whole of
So
Europe.
I'm really liking the idea of signing, man. Really liking it. I know what people will say as well, Tony. Like, obviously he's been in the Premier League before. That was one season with Newcastle, wasn't it? 24 games he played. That was about 2018, so it's years ago, man. He's a lot younger then, and again, he only had one season to really prove himself. So I don't really go. I get what people are trying to say there. He's been in the Premier League before. Can he come in and adapt to it? And you've always got that question mark over these players from these different leagues. But listen, guys, come on.
Don't listen to what these people are saying, bro. Those are all lies. If we're going by that, let's bring up Mohamed Salah. Okay, didn't he play for Roma? Didn't he fail down there? Let's bring him closer to home. Didn't he play for Chelsea? Wasn't he a failure, a massive failure
Yeah, facts.
at Chelsea? No, let's speak the truth. How about Kevin De Bruyne?
Mm.
How about Kevin De Bruyne at
Again
Chelsea?
at Chelsea, yeah.
A
Look
total
at him now.
failure. And his failure was of tremendous, like tremendous. If you want to estimate it, yeah, it was a big time failure.
Big
At
time,
Chelsea.
yeah.
So let's don't bring those nonsense down here. Let this guy wear the Arsenal shirt, and let's critique him from there.
For
And you have to
sure.
give him time. This is the
You got to be
Premiership.
fair, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's be fair. Let's be fair with him. I'm all up for criticism, but let's give this guy a chance, man. Come on, man. Let's give him a chance.
100%, bro.
Let's give
100%.
him a chance.
Listen, we will
Pull
continue to
up, pull
Arsenal,
up that.
guys.
I'm sorry, Josh. Pull
Yeah,
up
go on.
that chart from Rory there, where he talked about Martinelli. This is a very
This
cogent point.
one. I'm looking forward to see how Martinelli feeds off him. That's another good point as well, man. That left side now, Tony, yeah? It's going to be a lot more stronger with Merino coming in. Because that's one of my points when I was looking at it. I was saying this last week, like, look at last season, right? That left, like, 8th position kept changing. Arteta wanted it of Havertz there. We saw him move Partey to the right back, so Havertz playing in the midfield, and he tried that for half a season, and then he realized it didn't work. He put him centre forward. Havertz started doing well at centre forward, and then he, shifted Rice, who predominantly we signed as a 6, into that position, and Rice did all right towards the end of last season, but we didn't have a natural 8 there. So Mikel Merino coming in, there's the 8. That left side is going to be a lot more stronger now, especially with a left back, Timber or Calaflori there. And we will talk about Martinelli in just a minute. That's actually when we talk about the Villa game and what's going on with Martinelli. But it's a great point there. The left side is a lot more stronger.
That's a very huge point. That's a very, very huge point. And I think it's even the most important I've seen in the charts, because have you thought of the reason why Trossard has been on the bench? What Rory said there has far-reaching consequences. Have you thought of why Trossard hasn't been playing? It's because Martinelli is a favorite of Mikel Arteta.
Has
Let's
to be.
not act as if he's not his favorite. And time again, we've seen presumably the best finisher at Arsenal Football Club sit down on the bench while Martinelli provides stinkers. And I feel the love Mikel Arteta has for Martinelli has made him to go bring Merino. Bro, I might be a conspiracy theorist, bro, man. But I just really think that he wants to really unlock Martinelli again. Because if Merino totally seals off that left side centre mid, then you know that Martinelli won't be able to be, he won't be dropping back, mind you, when Arsenal is actually shouldering lots of pressure and lots of pressing from other teams. He has to literally go back to start defending for Arsenal, mostly with our left back position, where Zinchenko has made he's made it a perfect stinker every week. It gets down there. So Martinelli has to actually go back, try to defend, and he's not concentrating on running up forward, and concentrating on left-sided duties, winger duties. So right now, Merino being in that left-sided midfield covers up those those loopholes through which there will be presses from that left-hand side. So thereby opens up and unleashes Martinelli on that on that left wing to just flourish, do what you have to do. Allow me to just mop up and clean up that left-hand side. And whomever is our left back will flourish also with that. Then you now start seeing lots of overlaps going on, because
look at that right side with
it would
Ben
be
White,
at left centre mid, getting all the dwells down there, man. It's
look at that
simple.
right. Look on the right side with Ben White. Yeah, look how he always overlaps Saka, right? Gives him the support there, and always able to get crossing, right?
Exactly.
I don't think we've had that on that left hand side last season, because Kiwior was a centre back playing left back. Tomiyasu played left back. Zinchenko was invert, so I think we already had that. But with Calaflori coming in, I think again, that's going to help Martinelli out a lot. And it's down to him as well. But we're going to talk about it right now because my next topic, Tony, right? The game, obviously, on Saturday, I'm going to quickly rewind to that game and talk about it for a bit because there's a few sort of topics I want to get your thoughts on, right? Firstly, obviously, the result, 2-0 win at Villa Park. We know we have history with them. Yeah, our ex-manager, Emery, before the game, beating Arteta 4 times, right? So Arteta had to win this game because it would have been 5 times that Arteta has got dunked by Emery. And obviously, the history we had last season with them, they did a double over us. We didn't even score against them last season. So we went to Villa Park, kept the clean sheet, 2 goals. I thought, the first half was a bit of like a chess match. There's only 2 big chances. We had that Saka chance when Martinez made that good save, and then Gabriel was playing around at the back, and then we lost it. Watkins had missed an absolute sitter out of all people. Villa fans would be loving it to put his house on him to score that, and he absolutely missed it. Big sitter. Going into halftime 0-0, I was thinking, right, 0-0, let's get the goal in the second half. I thought they came out a lot more stronger, Villa, in the second half. And we saw Raya made that absolutely incredible save, deflection off the bar from Onana. And then, Watkins with a header. Raya, on the ground, steps up, makes a quality save. And they had a few other good chances there. And then, of course, Trossardinho, Mr. Clutch himself, Tony, off the bench, like he did last season. How many times did we say about this guy doing it last season? The bench again, saves Arsenal, gets us the goal. We kick on, and we get the second from Partey, 2-0. Eventually, in the end, we keep a clean sheet. But I found it interesting to listen to the opposition fans. They were saying they wasn't happy. They was happy with the performance because I think was it Morgan Rogers, that player you've spoken about a while ago, right? That guy was all over us. That guy was running the show for them. That guy was like
in the middle. What he did to Thomas Partey in the middle?
He had Partey on the lead, mate.
He had him bragging. He made Thomas Partey look like. It made him look like a rat chasing a mouse.
Everywhere, man, for them. He looks a quality player for them. And, they were saying they wasn't too happy with the chance that they missed. Of course, 2 of their big chances came from Ollie Watkins, the main guy. So, I thought, look, we look at the result. 2 wins and 2, a clean sheet. But firstly, Tony, what's your overall thoughts? But before we go into about Martinelli and Trossard, and then we'll do that in a minute. What's your overall thoughts of that, 2-0 sort of result? Firstly, going away to Villa Park, man.
See, this is the problem I always have with Arsenal fans. We tend to forget so quickly and so easily. Yeah. I hear you when, I hear people when they say they didn't like how we played. There wasn't much intensity. A style of play wasn't really defined in that matchup. People tend to forget that Villa were in top 4 last season. I mean, it's so easy to just totally just throw this fact away. People act as if Aston Villa didn't take away points last season from Manchester City. Yeah, at Villa Park.
It was a fortress last season, man. So hard to win there, wasn't it?
Let's don't pretend they didn't chop off heads and take off heads. Yeah, machete style. Yeah, at Villa Park, Man City, even Arsenal. As good as we were last season, we didn't even score a goal against Aston Villa. We forget these things so quickly. And this is an Unai Emery side. And even before that matchup, the comparisons between these 2 managers were swirling. Of course, I hope you saw what happened on AFTV or something. It was everywhere where they were arguing about,
who's the second best manager behind Pep Guardiola?
Who's the best? Exactly. And that argument broke. So this was a highly contested matchup. So even if I didn't like the style of play, I'll take that 3 points any day, anytime. Because we met a legitimate top 4 side in the second game of the season when everyone is supposedly ready. Away from home at Villa Park, one of the most vociferous places to go to in recent years. A boogie team, a manager who hates Arsenal. I mean, he doesn't like Arsenal after what after what we did to him, and he doesn't necessarily like Mikel Arteta. Right? And of course, is a guy that replaced him. In a job he actually, went to the skies and brought the blackboard to the boardroom to explain about the profile of each player to our board during the time, and he went through all that stuff just for Mikel Arteta to just come from nowhere and snuff the light out of his job. So this was a hotly contested game, but again, even if I didn't like our style of play, there was no defined style of play for me. But again, the usual suspect helped Arsenal. Our defensive discipline still helped us out, even if we're caught napping at least 3 times that I saw. Gaping goals last season. Ole Watkins takes those chances. At least last season, he takes those 2 chances that he threw away against Arsenal. Last weekend. Give it to him last season. He puts that away. And again, it shows that this is such a high-profile matchup here. Nerves everywhere, and stuff like that. Each team just playing into this chess game, and it wasn't really defined per se. But Arsenal still had lots of chances to still, do them, a great, a great deal of harm. Martinelli through the left-hand side, was just throwing away the chances that was handed over to him. He didn't really look confident. He looked a shadow of himself, man. No incursive movement, no penetrative movement, no passes, in terms of reaching anyone in the 18-yard box in the final third. Nothing. No boxes, no. Bro, no stray ball into the hit map of the final third. Nothing. Kai Havertz completely nullified in that matchup. Bukayo Saka, and of course, whenever Bukayo Saka isn't having a good day, of course, Arsenal struggled definitely. Bukayo Saka didn't even, it was completely locked off. It was doubled up on again. It's the usual stuff. Double up on Bukayo Saka. Make sure that nothing is going on with Martin Odegaard and shut down Gabriel Martinelli. Tap, boom. You just nullify Arsenal, and that's why I would have loved a more creative player. But still, last season it wasn't the creation of chances. It was more about taking those chances.
Yeah, taking the chances.
When we
Yeah,
really did need them. Yeah, exactly. So creativity isn't really Arsenal's problem because we scored lots of goals. I think we're the highest. We had the highest goal tally last season, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, we also had superior defense too. So the game was totally undesirable. But again, I'll take it for what it is. 3 points in the bag. Aston Villa, top 4 side, definitely. These are the kind of games that you just look back and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, if this is luck, I'll take it. And I'll gladly take that, that 3 points. Trossard coming on, getting that goal. You talked about that goal, but you never said something. How stone cold that goal was taken, man. Bro, deadly.
But it's his first touch as well. As soon as he came on, Tony, as well. First touch.
Deadly. First touch. Deadly. What does that tell you? It tells you that he is our most natural finisher.
Bro. Yeah, I agree.
He's our natural. The same thing Diego Jota is to Liverpool. The most natural finisher Liverpool have right now down there, apart from Mohamed Salah. Salah is more from the wings anyway.
Yeah.
But Diego Jota could play from the 9 position, could play from the wings. Is the natural goal scorer for them. This is the same thing with Trossard, with the way he took that goal. Bro, easy peasy. Comes in, first touch, tap, boom, understands the threat, penetrates into the 18-yard box, and just gets the goal. Like a sniper, like a killer that he is.
Killer, man.
That's what he brings to the table. You can see the confidence seeping through him. you know,
Mm.
and of course he not celebrating that goal, it
Yeah, the
sends
celebration
a
was interesting,
whole
wasn't
lot
it?
of message, man. A whole
Yeah, the
lot of message, man.
celebration.
Something is wrong, man. Something is wrong.
Look at the way he
I
celebrated. Look
won't
at
be
his body
surprised if he
language.
hands in a transfer request
Do you
come
blame him though? Do
January.
you blame him though, Tony? Do you blame him? Because listen, let's move on to this. Like Gabriel Martinelli. Listen, you know this channel, guys. We're fair of it, yeah. You know,
Mm,
we give praise where it's due, but we also have to. This is us being real. We have to look at the negatives. And I'm sorry, Gabriel Martinelli, once again, guys, against Aston Villa. I don't know what the problem is with this guy. I'll be honest, right? Last season, we know people can give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, the left back kept changing. We kept changing number 8 as well. He came back from the injury and all this. But I said, this is the season now of Gabriel Martinelli now. Yeah, he's got a left back, a proper left back. Yeah, Timber is playing, or Calafiori can play left back. He has at number 8 coming in with Mikel Merino, right? It's also down to him, right? But once I just don't see anything different than what I saw last season, Tony, with this
mm,
guy. And right now, Trossard once again proving why he should be starting the next game against his former club, against obviously Brighton coming up, because he comes off the bench, absolute killer, as you said, gets us the goal, right? But how many times did he do that last season when he was on the bench? And he comes off it and he scores and he changes the game. For me, I've always said, with Martinelli, he's becoming too predictable, right? Is it because the way how we're playing? Is it because the system? Maybe. And I hate what people were saying. Do you remember when Emery bought him, right? And he first came in, that first season he was playing as like a striker role instead of on the wing. And look how many goals
mm,
he was scoring as a striker for us.
mm.
So I would love to see him. I've said this time before. I'd love to see the guy change as and maybe as a centre forward for us, or a striker, because I feel he's got the pace. He can get in behind the defense as well. You know, and he can finish as well if he, you know, plays as a striker. He did it. He proved that already in his first season. So, but what I'm seeing Martin, I'm seeing a player who's just lacking confidence, just too predictable as well. He's got none of that unpredictability that he had when we first signed the guy. When he would take on players, he wasn't afraid of anything. And now we're
Yeah.
sitting here saying, well, nothing's changed with Martinelli. Trossard came off the bench. I'm sorry, Martinelli, but you're going to be dropped now. What's your whole take on, obviously, Martinelli? Is it down to him? Is it to do with the system, Tony? And you know, obviously Trossard scoring now. That's surely got to mean that he will start against Brighton, no?
See, Josh, don't forget that we have a very stubborn manager in Mikel Arteta. You know that the minute you think that you've proven him wrong, that's the minute his strong-headedness continues to a certain level. He thinks differently. Of course, maybe that's why he's the gaffer, right? He makes his own decisions. I don't think he will still drop Martinelli. I still think Martinelli is pivotal to the way he plays. He- I just really think that he wants someone who is out wide and who will be static out wide.
Mm,
Gabriel Martinelli does that. He likes playing with his wide forward. He doesn't like transformative progressives in terms of his wingers. Just like Bukayo Saka, he gets exactly what he wants from Bukayo Saka. Stick yourself to that right hand side, cut in, tap, tap, boom, get the goal. But Trossard is this kind of guy that he won't stick to that left hand side. He wants to roam about the 18-yard box. He wants to score goals. Like, of course, he's a natural goal scorer. So instinctively, when you sense a goal, you would definitely lift that left hand side, even if you're playing as a winger, and drift into more more open positions, that can help you get a goal. That's Trossard. He likes Martinelli because Martinelli is that kind of guy that would just be more static in that left-hand position, try to wriggle his way through and try to open up spaces through that left-hand side for, other attacking utilities to come in and try to get the goals. I don't think he's gonna bench Martinelli. I think he's here to stay. And to be very true with you, I think that's why he brought Merino to actually unlock
Mm.
Martinelli through that left hand side, because I think he's feeling like he's giving Martinelli like too much to do, because he has to drift, back, down the pitch to go help out our left back, and then he has to start running forward to get the ball, and try to press, and try to move the ball forward, and try to cross the ball again. So everything is just too much for him to do. And he's not just confident right now. I think his confidence levels have dropped. I just think there comes a time in a player's timeline where he just has to have a little bit of a breather. Yeah, just chill, relax, sit on the bench. Uh,
Mm.
just recalibrate, and catch your breath back, and just try to go on from there. But still, I don't think Mikel Arteta is that kind of guy that would say Martinelli stay on the bench. I don't think so. I think he likes him too much. I think he likes his favorites in the team.
100%.
That's the thing with Mikel Arteta. It's just like your guard. It's just like your Southgate, who's so
Southgate,
loyal
yeah, he's got
to
his favourites, yeah.
yeah, he was so loyal to certain players within the team that he kept them for far too long, and outlived their usefulness to the England team. It's the same thing with Mikel Arteta. You have to do something so horrible for him to actually cut you off. I don't think he's cut him off right now. I think he will still play him.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
Trossard isn't just really his guy, because Trossard have scored some certain goals last season that I thought that, okay, he will take it up from here. He'll put him
Exactly.
up in these games. He will start him up, but he never started. So there's a problem.
No.
So, and it's clearly the manager's decision. It's clearly the manager's decision. It's no one else than the manager's decision. So he rides with Martinelli. He loves the guy. So I don't think he'll put him on the bench. But sadly, Martinelli's confidence looks drained, looks a shadow of himself, and I blame the manager for it, for not bringing in someone competitive enough, to compete for that left hand, in that left hand side, with Gabriel Martinelli. No one is down there, so it feels more relaxed. Even Trossard isn't really a natural left-sided winger, so Martinelli isn't really feeling the pressure. Bring in a player who plays through that left-hand side, and then you might just see Martinelli, just kick up from there. I just feel there's no competition down that lane. Just
Mm.
watch what will happen to our midfielders. They will sit up. Merino is there now. They will sit up. Thomas Partey will sit up, but eventually he will get injured, because he has shown us over time that he will get injured. Even if I do like him and I want him to stay anyway, I like Thomas Partey, but he will get injured. And every other player in the middle of the park will sit up because of Merino, because you have an European champion sitting down there on the
Mm.
bench,
Facts.
waiting in the wings to take a position. So there's competition for places in that midfield right now, at
Mm.
least with Merino, Rice, and Thomas Partey.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on, man. Yeah, bro. I think you made some excellent points there as always, Tony, man. Absolute facts. Listen, let's move. Transfer deadline day, 3 days time. We know what we've seen today. Nketiah has been sold 30 million to Crystal Palace. Arsenal sold Smith Rowe to Fulham, 35 million. We now have a total in terms of selling players 65 million just from those two, Tony. Right? And we know what we need. We need two more positions, in my opinion, the winner and the
Mm,
attacker. With 3 days left, we've been linked with so many different names. You've got likes of Victor Gyökeres, the likes of Victor Oshman's price has completely decreased now. They've accepted from Saudi around 60 million or something like that, compared to 110 million. Ivan Toney could be on his way to Chelsea. Chelsea, man. They could get Ivan Toney
yeah.
for 40 million.
Mm,
And obviously, in terms of the
mm,
winners, we've been linked with that Brighton winner, Simon Adringa, Adaloma Lookman. The whole talk about Nico Williams is still there as well. listen, with 3 days left, Tony, right? We have the money there. We have the money there. What is your
The money is
expectation?
there. The money is there.
Realistically, yeah. I know you're raw as always, yeah. Realistically, what do you sort of like expect Arsenal to do? And that could be us signing no one, or that could be us. If you generally think Edu will sign the striker, and if he doesn't, then should there be consequences there, Tony, for him?
To be very sincere with you, let's be frank. Arsenal isn't going to sign a striker. I'm sorry, man.
There we go.
I'm sorry to break the news to anyone who's listening down here. We're not gonna buy a striker. I don't think Mikel Arteta likes strikers. To be very sincere with you, I think he just likes wingers and midfielders, and he views goal scoring as something that should be done as a team rather than a point man scoring the goals. That's just my subconscious telling me that that's how it looks, you know, at the dynamics of a striker. He doesn't just want a point man getting the goals, but of course, it helps you out, to an extent. But again, when you check title winning teams, look at Manchester City, yeah, they had Aguero chipping in the goals, 20, 25 goals in a season, wins the league. Look at the season Manchester United won the league. Tevez was there scoring goals for
Yeah.
them. They won the league at the time. Look at Robin van Persie, a point man, scoring 20 goals or more, getting you the league. Look at Erling Haaland. Look at what he's doing. That 20, 30 goals in a season. Hands you the league, hands down. When you're Arsenal, when you don't have a striker that will give you 20, 25 goals in a season, you're doomed. It's hard for you to win the league. So no matter how much we probe and knock on that door and challenge, I'm sorry, man, it will be so difficult, to be so hard. We need a point man who will come in, who will score 20, 25 goals, who will help out. Even look at Alvarez, who was even sold in his first season. When he came, he got 17 goals from the
17
bench.
goals from the
17
bench.
goals from bro. Imagine Haaland is scoring 50 of them. Throw that all away. The second best striker even got what our normal striker last season couldn't even get, which is Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz got about maybe 14 goals all season.
Mm,
But Alvarez got 17 in his first season, and that was a title-winning season for them. From the bench, not even all the time, from the
from the
bench,
bench.
assisting Haaland. But Kai Havertz played all season, last season with us, and got just 14 goals. So that spells everything you need to know. You need a striker to get ahead. I don't think Mikel Arteta values strikers. I don't think he wants to buy a striker. And again, I think the market is overconflated with the overpricing of strikers. Look at the money this Bournemouth striker went to Tottenham Hotspurs with Solanke. Is about 60 something million
60,
pounds.
yeah, 60
Victor
million.
Gyökeres to kind of like bring Victor Gyökeres from Portugal would take you over 100 million. Astronomical prices. Exorbitant prices being mentioned and uttered by these football clubs. So I don't know if Arsenal want to actually go to the market and spend another 100 million pounds on another player. Mostly after spending 100 million on Declan Rice, and it happens that he's just a normal player. It's not a typical 100 million player. It's a decent player, but it's not 100 million. So you could as well wait and get him for 60, 70 something million than bring him for 100 million. I don't think Arsenal want to make that 100 million pound mistake again on a player, and not even on a striker per se. I don't think we're getting any striker. The news, the rumor mills will chirp, they will
Mm,
talk, but I don't think we're getting any striker. I know Arsenal. Even
yeah.
when we were, even when it was a question of bringing a striker in January and win the league, bringing Ivan Tony and win the league, nothing was done. So why is it right now when bro,
Bro,
the proof is in the
it's
pudding? They will tell you we've won our first 2 games against tougher oppositions
Mm.
and scored 4 goals, and we don't have a potent striker who would, who has scored 20, 25 goals, in seasons. So Kai Havertz last scored 20 something goals in a season in the German Bundesliga. That was in Bayer Leverkusen. So
No,
not even
absolutely.
in the Premiership. So
Bro, listen, you're just being real, and I have to agree with you. I don't see an Edu to pull this off. I don't see it. I don't see us getting that striker man, which we know we need as well. And listen, that's gonna most likely, as we say every single window, Tony, because I said this last window. Yeah, I think look, I said this last. We said this last week. Our last clinical striker, if we're being honest, with a back was a fully going Aubameyang. That was years ago. Yeah, like
I mean,
we've had Gabriel Jesus, right? The guy scored 15 goals, and that's his highest he's ever got to in terms of that's his highest goal tally. You just mentioned Alvarez, 17 goals off the bench.
off the
Like, what are
bench,
you doing there? Literally,
off
man was
the
on the
bench,
bench and he scored 17
Mm,
goals. And
off the bench.
we know Jesus he's injured yet again, by the way. Yeah, I think he'll be back in
Yeah, he
February.
has a groin injury.
He's got a groin
No,
injury.
we have to go bring in a striker. But I know Mikel Arteta. He's a stubborn manager. He's not gonna do it, man. We couldn't even do it to save our lives. We couldn't even bring a striker to save our lives and win a trophy. What are the odds that he's gonna dip his hand into his pocket where 35
Mm.
million pounds is burning a hole that was given to us by Fulham in our pocket? We have another 30 million from the deal with Crystal Palace right now. If we put that money together, that's about 65 million pounds, bro. Loan deals with Charlie Patino that has gone to Spain, Deportivo La Corona. Bro, Fabio Vieira has gone on loan too. If you join up all this money, we have enough to go bring in a striker. But I'm not sure they will do it.
Facts.
I don't think so, man. And
Can
again,
I just
we even have the money. Look at Ramsdale. The deal for
yeah?
Ramsdale has broken down. No one is even talking about that. So we will still have Ramsdale wasting away at Arsenal this season when we can actually get 20, 25 pounds for him and use that money, add that money to the money we got from the sale of Emmy Smith Rowe and go at least get Ivan Toney. A quick deal, sharp one. 40 million pounds to do the deal.
40 million
Ivan
people.
Toney. I mean,
No
so I
brainer.
don't know, man. It's
It's a no
crazy. It's a
brainer.
no-brainer, man.
Can I just say big up to Rosie? Thank you to Rosie so much for
Big
the
up,
kind.
Rosie. Real one, Rosie.
She says, "Smash the likes and sub to Josh." Thank you very much, Rosie. Really, and this is not the first. I was doing the stream earlier. She put a donation in there as well. So 2 today. Thank you so much, Rosie. Like, it really does mean a lot to me. But even you just being here and commenting and watching the streams, that means that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But thank you so much for going out your way and dropping a donation there. And guys, I put her link in the chat. So go over to her channel, man. She does some great content. Yeah, if you guys
Yeah.
anyone needs to learn how to cook, go over to her channel. Yeah, she does all videos about how to cook.
Rosie
go
is
over
real
there.
one too, anyway.
She's a real one, yeah, for sure. Thank you very much, Rosie. Indeed. Yes, obviously, Tony, 3 days left. Deadline day, as we know.
Hey guys, Josh just froze. I'll just help him out and finish up because I have a show with Oregon Gunner right now, so I'll just try and round up down here. Brighton. 3 days to go to the end of the transfer window.
Yo,
Also
you
haven't
back?
signed a striker yet.
We're frozen again.
frozen.
Ole, ole.
No, you froze. You froze again.
I froze again, guys. We froze again. Frozen again. Frozen again. Ole, ole.
Frozen again. Yeah, man. Exactly, man. See, I know we don't have much time to talk about this because, of course, I have a show with Oregon Gunner, which will start soon. But we have to beat Brighton. We have to beat Brighton.
Yes.
I'm not saying we should not respect, we should not, respect Brighton, but I'm sorry, we're not Manchester United. We are the Arsenal. They're coming down to the Emirates. You know what we did to them last season. You know,
Mm.
I don't think they're a top side right now. I don't think they're a vociferous side either. Their coach is nothing like De Zerbi. You know, he doesn't have the fear factor that De Zerbi instilled in that Brighton team. You know, so I don't really feel that Brighton will give us really anything to really, tinker about. We'll do our thing at the Emirates. I predict a 3-1, 4-1 win. I'm thinking 3-1 win. It should be an easy, comfortable win. But I want to see us play with a style of play. Of course, Aston Villa restricted us. That's a tougher game. And that's at Villa Park, where the heads of
Yes.
Manchester City and the Arsenal rolled last season. It's not an easy place to go to. So right now, I don't believe Brighton has the machinery to cut us off on our tracks. I believe we'll win that midfield battle easily. Yeah, Adingra, it might be the one to watch out for because he's fighting for a move to Arsenal right now, and it might
Mm.
be a little bit of a hot head, trying to impress the boss just before the window slam shot. That if Mikel Arteta can be able to activate his release clause. So all these things, yeah, I don't think I don't think they're there yet to match up with Arsenal, man. Arsenal will win that game easily, 3-1. Big ups to Drew Gunners. That's my graphics guy, and it's my brother. Big ups
Drew, a
to
real
Drew
one, man.
Gunners. Yeah,
Drew, a
man.
real one. So yeah, you've gone 3-1 for the game against Brighton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3-1.
100%. I mean, look, they're under a new manager anyway. I think he's the youngest manager as well. I think
Yeah,
James Milner, Tony. James Milner's older than him as well. It's crazy. A player's
yeah.
actually older than the manager, so he's a very young manager. But yeah, I think last season we done them home and away. We beat them both times. Kept it clean
Easily,
sheet.
easily,
It was,
easily,
wasn't it? It
easily,
was, So we
easily.
should be going there 3 points. At the end of the day as well, like this is the last game, then we've got that international break as well. And then we know what's after
Mhm.
that. 2 away games, Tottenham and Man City
Yeah.
away. So we need to go 9 points, nothing else, people. Yeah. Another 3 points.
Shout
International
out
break,
Static. Static is
9
in the
points.
charts, man. That's another real
Yeah,
one.
shout out to
Absolute real
Static,
one.
man. Massive shout out to
Shout out
Static as
Static.
well. He's another
Real,
real one
real
on
one.
top
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. But yeah, we get the 3 points hopefully, and obviously move. I'm with you, man. I think it's going to be a comfortable result. We're at the Emirates, and yeah, I think it's going to be a win there for Arsenal. Tony, my friend, I'm going to let you get you out of here because I know you're going live right now
Yeah, I'm
on
going
your.
live with Oregon Gunner. That's my brother, of course. You know me and Oregon Gunner. We go way back on my
Now, real
channel. So
one.
yeah, absolute real one. He helped me build my channel. To what it is right now. It was one of those that popped in and helped me out here and there behind the scenes. Even before I even started a show with him, it was really helping me out from the charts and pushing me and just giving me life because you do need people like that who would help you out from the charts and and
Of
and, and
course.
for you to keep going. So Oregon gonna represent those kind of brothers. So that big respect to him, and I have a show with him, and he's a very frank person, very down to earth too. He's a down to earth person and very straightforward. He loves Arsenal. And I respect his take. So, we're having that show in maybe like 5 minutes or so. I have to send the link to him. I haven't done that yet. But Josh, man, it's nice to be down here. I love your
It's been a
channel,
pleasure,
man.
man.
You can
It's been
you
a
can
pleasure.
see, when we do a show, it's it's always the bump, man. We even hardly have time to finish up. The content that we decide to do next week. We'll have a show again, and I'll get back with the date. Hopefully, we get to beat Brighton. It would be nice for me to do a watch along with you,
Yeah,
and
of
then we
course.
can multicast to our channel. So, if there's time, I could even jump in and do the Brighton watch along with you and multicast it to my channel too. So we could also have that talk too for me and you doing watch alongs. I think that would be another good one. So let's see, man. Let's see.
Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, guys. Yeah. And this show, Man, I love doing this show, yeah. And every 1 week on my channel, 1 week on Tony's channel, it works perfectly as well. We both multi-stream anyway, so we get both chats in. And I see this right now, guys. The chat's been on absolute fire tonight. So I do apologize for obviously not going through all the comments, guys, because there's so many people giving their thoughts, but so many real ones inside, from both channels as well. We support both of us. Big shout out to Static. Yes, indeed. That's his channel right there as well. Dao, my friend, you are welcome anytime as well, bro. Yes, you get that one as well. This guy's an absolute real one. Oregon Goon. Yeah, this guy is absolute real one there. Also, big up to Solo as well. Thank you very much. My guy, as always, absolute legend. RD12 Tony, Rory.
RD12 Rory. Another one
there as well. We got a Spike's dad as well. We're back for the new season. Yes, indeed, bro. We are back. Drew as well on both channels. This guy's so much sports my channel as well as yours. I mean, he's your graphic designer, ain't he, as well? So
he's my graphic guy. Yeah, he helps me out even if he has his own channel. He does.
There we go. And so many more people who tuned in earlier as well. Thank you guys so much for the support. Look, we move to obviously Brighton on the Saturday, guys. Plenty of content coming throughout this week as well. We got the Champions League draw as well. We're going to find out who Arsenal face in the Champions League on Thursday. So that's to be interesting to see. But yeah, so much content coming up. Tony, my guy, been a pleasure as always, man, to have you on the channel. Thank you very much for your time as always. Always a great chat with you, my bro. And guys, we are out of here. From me and Tony, good evening to everyone.
Peace.
And come on, you Gunners. Ciao, guys.
Come on, you Gunners.